Edward Herrmann passed away in 2014, and his beloved Gilmore Girls character was given a sweet and special tribute in the Netflix revival A Year in the Life. As Emily comes to terms with living without her husband and finds a way forward, viewers remember Richard's pride in his daughter Lorelai and granddaughter Lorelai and feel emotional about the loss. Richard's presence on Gilmore Girls is always smart and hilarious, as he says just as many clever things as his wife and other family members. Redditors are discussing the interesting things that Richard has to say throughout the show's run, whether Hess talking about a favorite place or taking a magazine quiz. "I do love this place. Richard loves being at Yale. There are several great Gilmore Girls Yale scenes, including all the times when Richard visits Rory. The two have had a bond ever since they first began spending time together, and now that they have gone to the same college, they appreciate each other even more." Redditor SUCCESSFULAD708 loves this quote and wrote, "It's just nice that Richard is a bulldog and that they have it in common that they love Yale." Richard doesn't express himself very often as he can be stoic and serious, so it's sweet to watch this character sharing his adoration of something. When Rory replies that she likes Yale, too, it's a special moment. "Rory, are you in any way malnourished?" Richard doesn't believe Rory isn't eating well in season 1. Rory stays over at her grandparents' because of bad weather, and she makes frozen pizza, a funny scene that fans always remember. Emily is upset that Rory won't have a home-cooked meal, and Redditor Maximus Toothless mentioned when Richard asks Rory if she's in need of some international relief organization. "To recruit a celebrity to raise money on your account?" This quote says a lot about Emily and Richard's different personalities. While Emily is worried that Lorelai doesn't cook, Richard knows, in his own quiet and calm way, that Lorelai is a smart, capable parent who is taking good care of Rory. "Yes, Emily. You may go first. Richard has health problems in season 1. The season 1 episode Forgiveness and Stuff is tough to watch as Richard is hospitalized, and Emily and Lorelai, Rory are scared and devastated." Redditor Sarah Lingry mentioned the emotional quote when Richard tells Emily you may go first. It's even harder to think about Richard's words knowing that he passes away before the events of A Year in the Life. Emily can't imagine living without her best friend and soulmate, and Lorelai and Rory sympathize and feel her pain. "This is as much your moment as Rory's. Enjoy." Richard wants Lorelai to enjoy Rory's Yale graduation. Richard and Lorelai's Gilmore Girls relationship is complex and layered, making for great TV. While they don't have that many nice chats throughout the series, Richard does share that he knows how hard Lorelai works at various points on Gilmore Girls. Redditor SYSTEMFAMILIAR5966 loves when the family watches Rory's Yale ceremony and Richard tells his daughter, Lorelai, "I will note the time. I will take the photo." Richard knows that Lorelai worked hard so Rory could have this opportunity, including helping her get into Chilton, and he wants Lorelai to know that he's proud of both of them. "It is one of the great pleasures of my life to be able to surround you with a house full of useless objects." Richard jokes in the season 3 episode 8 o'clock at the Oasis. Redditor Useful INTERACTION99 loves when Richard tells Emily that he's pleased that they have so much furniture and so much random house decor. He continues, "I'm never happier than when we're standing in the corner staring at our furniture." This quote speaks to the sweet relationship that the couple shares and how Richard would do anything for Emily. While Richard would rather read a book or have an interesting conversation and doesn't care much about what his house looks like, he knows that this matters to Emily, and he wants her to be content and at peace. "I am an autumn." Richard completes a magazine quiz when Richard and Emily attend Rory's 16th birthday party in season 1. Rory gives Richard a quiz to take. Redditor DAISYMILLER8 wrote, "I love this quote when Richard shares his results." The fan noted that in A Year in the Life, a fall leaf is on Richard's coffin, writing, "I get teary-eyed just thinking about that moment." This one of the most special moments that Richard and Rory share, and perhaps the most significant one, as Rory realizes that her grandpa cares a lot about her and will always be there for her. Since Rory hasn't known her grandparents up until now, that means a lot. It takes a remarkable person to inspire all of this. Richard is emotional in the series finale for Redditor Dreamerbird. One of Richard's best quotes is when, in the season 7 finale Bon Voyage, he shares that he's impressed with the home that Lorelai has created. Luke may have helped throw a party to see Rory off on her first big writing job, but Richard can't tell that the gathering is so big because the town loves Lorelai. Gilmore Girls viewers have mixed thoughts on season 7, but Richard's quote from the finale is definitely sweet. It's important that he understands more about Lorelai and why being part of Stars Hollow is so crucial to her happiness. Rory, I'm sorry you're upset, but I applaud your timing. Richard doesn't know the right thing to say in season 1's P.S. After Rory and Lorelai argue at the end of season 1, Rory spends time with Emily and Richard says this funny quote. Redditor Tabram said, "Classic Richard. Rory is having a tough time as she loves Dean Forrester, but isn't sure how to let him know." While Richard might stumble with his words sometimes, the love that he has for Rory never falters. This is an important quote, and Rory knows that while she might not feel comfortable talking to Richard about Dean, she has her grandpa's support. "I'm going to Google you." Richard teases Emily in season 4. Redditor Screen Hype mentioned Richard's hilarious season 4 line when he tells Emily that he's going to look her up on Google. Emily gets upset right away, showing the dynamic between the two characters. Emily and Richard's best Gilmore Girls episodes show that they love each other, no matter what they are going through. It's sweet that Richard likes to tease Emily, as this is how he shows her affection. It's also funny that after all this time together, Emily still gets mad. "If my wife wants the first cup of tea, she's going to have it." Richard and Lorelai fight in season 3 and 8 o'clock at the Oasis. Lorelai goes to an auction with Emily, and when she wants to go out with someone, this causes tension between Lorelai and her parents. Richard tells Lorelai that she has to treat Emily better. Redditor Baby Got Brains shared, "This is my favorite line from Richard." While Lorelai tries to explain to her dad that she likes being on her own and doesn't want advice from her parents, Richard says that he doesn't want Lorelai to upset Emily. This is a tough moment as Richard's concern is understandable, but he should see the situation from Lorelai's perspective as well. This quote is a good example of how Richard and Lorelai
I'm the strip,